Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad you all could join us as well. When it comes to the workplace, as we know, the world continues to grapple with the unprecedented change that's happened across industries and sectors, really across the world. Organizations, though, are reimagining the modern workforce and how work gets done, and because of that, Project Management Institute, or PMI, is honoring the 50 most influential projects of 2022, really highlighting those project managers and their teams that made significant milestones. Here to talk to us more about that list, we're excited to welcome Gary Scharf to our program today. Gary is the leader of North American Client Engagement for PMI. We're going to talk to him not only about who made the list, but also what stood out to him when it came to projects. Gary, thank you again for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Iris. Thanks for having me.
So this is exciting. I know we all have kind of seen the changes when it comes to the workforce, Gary, and the workplace has definitely changed a lot. Can you kind of give us an overview of the most influential projects this year?
Sure. Well, to take a step back, right, this list first began in 2019, which honored our 50th year as an organization. So at that point, we honored sort of the top 50 projects over the last 50 years. 4 years later, as we do this annually, right, our most influential projects list today reflects how project managers have found resourceful ways to keep initiatives moving forward amid all the global disruptions we're having. It highlights progress that was made in projects across education, technology, healthcare, and climate action.
And I think too, as we kind of think about these different areas, Gary, we really realize the impact they're able to have on all of us. What project topped the list this year, and which stood out to you?
Thanks. The one that topped the list is something that we call the New HQ, and it's actually not one specific project, but an amalgamation of 7 of-the-moment workplaces that were built for how work gets done now and in the future. This includes Google, Adidas, Meta, JP Morgan, and others. And what really stood out to us is how it took the employee and the employee experience on site as the most important factor for how these buildings came together. So, there's a large debate over, whether the office ever truly served the needs of the employee, right? And whether a happier, healthier employee might be a more productive one. And we think the answer is yes. So we're looking at, we looked at these as the physical spaces in which work gets done, and highlight the New HQ as our number one top project. But you asked me about what my favorite one is, and that's the James Webb Space Telescope that went up this year. For a number of reasons. One of which is I actually got to meet the NASA program director, Greg Robinson, and he was the 4th program director for this telescope, but the one that was, the one that brought it home, right? And in July, the whole world got to see the images, the galaxy clusters and exoplanets and then the nebula where stars are born, right? It's awe-inspiring, right? But it wasn't just one little group, right? It was NASA with support from the European Space Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, and multiple contractors. Thousands of people put time, effort, and energy into this, right? And now we, humankind, are going to get to see these images, and who knows what we'll learn for decades to come. So that's the one that just, stands out to me with a bullet.
Yeah, for sure, and I think you're right. I mean, those images were amazing, and to be able to think about all that went into that. So let's talk about power skills for a moment here, Gary. I mean, what are power skills, and why are they important in ensuring a project has success?
Yeah, so a lot of these projects we outline, it proves how project managers can actually turn ideas into reality, right, and change the world that we live in, right? But it's not just about, that sort of the technical aspect of being a project manager. It's really more about what we call power skills. They could also be called soft skills or emotional intelligence. These are interpersonal skills, and they play a really critical role in how work gets done and can make the difference between, success or failure in an endeavor. So power skills, think of empathy, collaborative leadership, innovative mindsets. They all help bring things to life, right? And it's really the way that work is getting done in a most efficient manner, and the process and the skills that a leader needs to have today. So that could be, staying organized and communicating clearly, having that growth mindset and be open to learning new skills, right? And look, there are many online learning tools for folks to be able to investigate around power skills and soft skills, and would certainly encourage everyone to go ahead and take a look at those.
Gary, I was on PMI.org when I was prepping for this segment, and one thing I noticed I want to mention for our audience, we're going to remind them how they can go and look at the list and more information, is that this is something that's international. I mean, that we're talking about, that you guys were able to look at, whether we're talking about Asia Pacific, yep. China. I mean, what was that like for you to kind of see how these different individuals all over the world really are being able to not only innovate, but also to make these significant milestones in their particular area in the world?
Yeah, no, thanks for that. We are a global organization. We are a member-based organization. There's over 700,000 folks in our community, right? And that's globally, right? The way, this criteria comes together is, we gathered recommendations from the community itself, right? We didn't go out and just say, we're going to pick this one. These were all the recommendations from our community and experts and, volunteers, academics, industry leaders that help bring this list together. So it's a wonderful global community.
So, Gary, people may be listening to this conversation and think, you know what, I want to be considered for most influential projects by PMI. How can we get started on our own project management journey, Gary?
Yeah, thanks for that. So if you were to go to PMI.org, that is our main website, right? And there's a product we have called Kickoff, and that's a free product. And it's a 45-minute online course and toolkit, and it covers the basics of project management to help individuals who have little or no experience in this sector work smarter and learn how to lead successful projects. Then it moves on up to, if you've got some experience, there's sort of an associate's training and certification called the CAPM, and then it leads on into our featured, sort of the gold standard of the project profession, which is the certification known as the PMP, right? And that is, certainly something that we look to help individuals, move through their career in such a way.
Again, everyone, we've had Gary Scharf on with us today, the leader of North American Client Engagement for Project Management Institute, or PMI, talking with us about the 50 most influential projects of 2022. As you guys heard us say, PMI.org is where you guys can go for more information. Gary, thank you again for the great work you guys are doing, and thank you for the time today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Cyrus. Appreciate it.
And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live, and let's go make today amazing. Take care.